Hello, I'm Lindsay Konzak, editor of Modern Distribution Management at MDM.com, and I'm talking with David Ruggles. He is president and CEO of Martin Supply Company, which is part of Martin, Inc. Martin, Inc. includes 6 operating divisions in the southeastern U.S., which is Martin Industrial Supply, Martin Plant Services, Martin Fastening Solutions, Martin Safety Solutions, Townsend Door Hardware, and Townsend Systems. Thanks for joining us today, David.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you.
David, how is business going in 2014 so far?
Well, Lindsay, 2014 has been a very interesting year for Martin. Specifically, we launched a new ERP system starting January the 6th of this year. And for everybody that's listening that has gone through an ERP implementation, you can understand the challenges that that type of implementation presents. So we certainly encountered the challenges that go with that. We knew ahead of time as a management team that we would have those challenges, so we forecasted a little bit of a drop-off for our January, February sales, which we did experience. So we're really right on budget the first part of the year, and we really think the rest of the year is going to be a very solid year for us.
David, Martin recently agreed to acquire J&K Sales and Engineering. Could you talk a little bit with us about why you made that acquisition?
Sure. The J&K acquisition was signed the end of February. We actually have been working with them for the past 5 months, working through all the due diligence and making sure they fit. Basically, from a strategic objective for Martin Supply Company, they fit very well with who we are as a company and where we want to go. They're located in Nashville, Tennessee, so we were able to roll their operation into our Nashville, Tennessee branch. When we analyzed their customer base versus our customer base, we had very little crossover. And probably most importantly, we were able to add several new, really talented team members to our Nashville operation and kind of build out what we think is a great team in the Middle Tennessee area. Sometimes we go down the path and do the analysis, and it isn't a good strategic fit. This one just happened to be a very good fit for where we were heading as a company.
Martin was recognized in 2012 as an MDM market mover, and when I spoke with you guys at that time, you talked about your focus on safety as one of the growth drivers for your business. Could you talk about how those safety growth initiatives are going now?
Certainly. In 2012, we made a decision as a company to form a safety division. We call that Martin Safety Solutions. Martin Supply Company had been selling safety products really as long as we've been in the industrial distribution market. But what we were not known was a safety solutions provider. So we made the decision to start the division from scratch, to go out and hire safety professionals and build that division from there. It actually is one of the fastest growing divisions within Martin Incorporated. We've had a number of successes with Fortune 500 companies who have awarded us their safety compliance contract and their safety services contracts. And I feel pretty confident that if we had not made the move to bring on the safety professionals, that we would not have been considered for the business because they just wouldn't have thought of Martin Industrial Supply of being a safety solutions provider. And overall, we're very satisfied with that group. We intend to continue to focus on that group, continue to add more talent in that area, and also look at adding more services as we move forward as well.
Well, congratulations. It sounds like that initiative is going well for you.
Thank you.
There's a few things that we like to ask our guests on this program, and one of them is the challenge of recruiting from the younger pool of candidates. What advice would you give someone who is young and considering a career in distribution?
Well, it's kind of interesting that you asked the question. I have 2 children myself. One is in college, and the other is getting ready to go to college. The younger of my 2 children actually has decided to attend the University of Alabama and major in industrial distribution. My advice for him and my advice for anybody that's looking to go into any chosen field is to make sure that that's where their passion lies. If their passion lies in industrial distribution, whether that be on the manufacturing side or the distribution side, my suggestion to them would be to dive in with both feet, to learn as much as they can about the industry, be a student of the industry, network with as many people that have been in the industry for a long time, people that have been successful, And I think that plus a lot of hard work will prove to be a very positive result for them, both professionally and monetarily over a long time. I believe this industry offers a lot of challenges for people and a lot of different opportunities, and there's a lot of different avenues that you can go in this industry. So I think it's an evolving industry, and I think an exciting one to be a part of. Speaking as somebody who has spent 48 years, for the most part, their entire life in this industry, I think it is a great place to make a living.
Well, excellent. And to wrap things up, David, what 3 things right now are keeping you up at night? In other words, what's top of mind for you?
Since we launched our ERP system, and things at our office are very busy, hectic, and it's been that way for several years, and my personal life seems to not slow down at all as well. I don't really lose any sleep over much of anything these days because I'm so tired when I get home. However, saying that, the things that I think are top of mind for us with our executive management team, number one would be healthcare costs and the rising cost of healthcare for all businesses, small, medium, and large. I think the final question there is, where does it end? And what's our ability as a small to medium-sized company to be able to provide the level of health insurance that our employees are accustomed to, and also to provide a level that we can still attract the best talent in the industry to come to work for our company. A second thing would be the proliferation of the private label brands within the industrial supply or industrial distribution market, and that primarily comes from the national players promoting that as their own product. And for an industrial independent distributor and for our domestic manufacturers, I think there's a big issue that we all have to come to grips with, is how do we combat that? Obviously, there is a price competitiveness within that we have to deal with, and our manufacturers have to determine who they're going to partner with. Is it going to be the people that are doing the private label, and what does that mean to their existing relationships? So lastly, the thing that we work on the most and we think about the most is at Martin Supply, we've been very successful in growing our top-line sales over the last several years, and the challenge is to make sure that the bottom line is following the top line. And we spend a lot of time making sure that we're not just growing top line for vanity, but we're actually bringing the bottom line along with it. And the costs that we talked about earlier are certainly part of the equation that we have to make sure we control and at least have an understanding of how it relates to our business.
Great. Well, thank you so much, David, for spending time with us today and for giving us an update on what you're seeing out there in the market.
Well, you're very welcome. Thank you.